Is there a glorification of sin in this movie? Well, when I saw... What's good? It's your boy Zachary Carroll, aka Pastor Z. Welcome back to my channel where I help you apply the Bible to all of life's craziness. So I just got home from watching the movie Barbie, starring Margot Robbie and what's that boy's name? Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling. All right. So I wanted to give a review for the Christian parents and Christians that have been hearing a lot of buzz, a lot of chit chat on the internet about, is this movie safe for children? A lot of my Christian friends and a lot of people on the internet have been talking about this movie. So I thought it might be helpful to you if, as a pastor, I went and watched it and reviewed it. If you like this type of content, go ahead and click the like down below. Show that you like it. I could do more of these. So I recorded my immediate reactions, but there might be some spoilers in there. So I'll put that towards the end of the video. This is just a spoiler-free pastoral review. All right. So the first thing is this movie is for teenagers, teenage girls. Older women probably will like this as well. Basically, teenage girls and up. Teenage girls and up. And if you're over 50 or over 60, you probably won't like it. So teenage girls to about 55, 65. That's their target audience. If this is not you, you will not have a blast at this movie. All right, men, fellas, my guys, you're not going to like this movie that much. It was funny. I will give it that. I'll start with the things I liked. It was funny. The acting was great. Margot Robbie was a really good actor. Ryan Gosling, really good actor. Issa Rae is in it, but she doesn't really do much, to be honest with you. But there was a good bit of diversity, ethnic diversity amongst the Barbies. So Margot Robbie is supposed to be the first Barbie, and she is starting to have these thoughts that are negative, that are not like what the other Barbies are thinking about in Barbie Land. Barbie Land is this, think of the beginning of the Lego movie, you know, everything is awesome. Yes, that's Barbie world. And she starts having these thoughts of negativity and stuff like that. And then she's like, where do I get these thoughts? And then that causes her to go to the human world, which is like, seems like 20 miles down the street, but it's supposed to be a different dimension. She figure out why. And Ken goes with her and they both go on a trip of self-discovery. All right. So that's basically the premise without spoiling anything. So this movie was funny at times. If you're a guy, you're probably going to laugh 15 to 20% of the time. It tries to be funny the entire time. But for men, you're probably only going to laugh 15 to 20% of the time. Now, when you do laugh, you will laugh. Like, it will be like, when it's funny, it's funny. But for the most part, I just sat there like, that's going to be most of the movie for you if you're a guy. Look at my notes here to see. I took notes. This is the first time I watched a movie in a movie theater and took notes. All right. So with fear of spoiling anything, let me just go ahead and give you, if you want to go see it, let me just give you my spoiler-free review. It is very relatable to a angsty teenager. So between ages of like 15, 16 and 40, most women will love this movie because it'll be speaking to exactly what they see their experience is, and most likely is their experience. And I believe this movie had a lot of good talking points around feminism versus patriarchy. I did. I think it defined it kind of well. It like showed the ridiculousness of both, more so on the patriarchy, but I'm gonna have to talk about that in the spoiler review. But it does start the conversation. It starts a conversation about how, you know, gender roles, not so much gender roles, but the relationship between the gender. And today, there is a battle of the sexes. Like women hate men, women hate women, and I believe men hate women. I think that is an exact quote, like an exact line from the movie, which it's very true. Like if you listen to podcasts or if you're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, there are so many videos about how men and women are so different, how men and women clash in so many different areas. And depending on who's speaking, if it's a man speaking, women suck. If it's a woman speaking, men suck. This movie is an amalgamation of all of that in one. And they just use Barbie and that franchise to share that message. And that's the entire movie. And I appreciated that. I think watching it, if I had a teenage daughter, if I watched it with some female friends that, we have these conversations with, it would have caused a very interesting conversation that I think needs to be had. And obviously, the scriptures need to be implemented in these conversations, but that's a totally different conversation. Is there a glorification of sin in this movie? I can honestly say no. No, this movie does not glorify sin. There's a lot of jokes that will, like I say, like a younger teenager or a younger child is going to go completely over their head. They're not going to get it. It doesn't glorify sex. So there is one thing that I saw. One of the Barbies. So there's a plethora of different Barbies. And I talk about this in my immediate reactions. There's a plethora of Barbies of all different ethnicities and sizes, and which I thought was really good because people come in different shapes and sizes and this and that. There was one Barbie that I believe was a woman, but they deepened her voice in such a way to make it seem like she was not born a woman or she was transgender. I was like, it caused me to think. I mean, it's so unfortunate that we live in a world where you gotta have to think, like, are you or are you not? What are you? There was that. But that's not highlighted. This is not a main character. It's just something that I saw. But I don't remember any glorification of sin. Perhaps I missed something, but this movie primarily is about feminism versus the patriarchy. So if you do take your children, I just think they will be incredibly bored, but I don't think they will be in any danger. And that's all I got for you for the spoiler-free review. Now, if you've seen it already, you want to know my thoughts on it, I haven't watched it, go ahead and wait a few more seconds. But for the rest of you, y'all be cool. Just left out of Barbie, and just wanted to give my first initial reactions. If you're watching this, you've probably already seen my more collected thoughts. But just walking right out of the theater, this movie is definitely for teenage girls and their moms, or girls and their girlfriends. Okay, it's not for men. I do have some issues with how they portray men for the majority of the movie. Towards the end, they kind of clean things up, but in general, men are disposable and useless, or they are tyrannical and abusive. So there's only two options as a man. There's no middle ground. Okay. Maybe as a guy, I didn't catch how they cleaned it up that much, but for the most part, for like 90% of the movie, men are disposable or idiots, or they only exist to please women. It tries to be funny the whole time. I laughed a handful of times out loud. So the majority of the jokes were not funny to me, but I did laugh out loud a few times, a handful of times. So I think it's safe for Christians to watch. It's not a children's movie. Um, this is not your children. If your children are under 12 or 13, like if your children are not in that like teenage angsty, I don't know how to deal with my emotions. I'm trying to be social, but I don't know how. I'm not popular, but I want to be, or I am popular and I don't want to be. If they're not in this realm where they don't know how to live life or whatever, they're not going to get this movie. Okay, this movie is going to be completely boring. So this is not a children's movie. So they geared it towards older women and teenagers. But anyway, if you are still here, you probably just watched my first reactions video. And I kind of want to go through some of the things I talked about. It's been maybe an hour or so since I did that video. So yeah, men are idiots or abusive. There's no middle ground. Either they are useless playthings that are just there to make the women look better, or they're just there for who knows what, or they're abusive, controlling, and tyrannical. I don't know. I really did not like that message. I really did not like that message. As a man, as a younger man, that is, I do my best not to be abusive and tyrannical, and I don't live my life to please women. Women liking me is not my goal in life. My goal in life is to glorify Christ and to fulfill God's purpose in my life. And as a man, that should be your goal. Proverbs 31 teaches that kings shouldn't waste their time for women. Proverbs 5 talks about the forbidden women. Proverbs 7 also mentions that. I mean, a man's life should not be revolved around his woman or just the pursuit of women. That's how, for the majority of the movie, that's how men are portrayed. And the main family, I forgot their names, but the mother was actually the one that caused Barbie to have these negative thoughts about death. I mean, really just thoughts about reality. Okay. And at first I thought that the dad wasn't in the picture, but after some time, the dad of the main family in the movie has like 2 lines, and they basically make him an idiot. I don't even know what he's doing. He's learning Spanish. He is literally there only to tell the audience that this is not a single mother. That is the only reason why the man is there. He doesn't provide any advice for his daughter. He's not in his daughter's life. He is absent. He is focused on something else that's stupid. And I'll admit that that probably is a lot of men, and men, we need to do better. We need to not be absent, even though we're present. But on the flip side, I know a lot of men who are not absent. I know a lot of men that are active in their child's life, their daughter's life, or at least they want to be, even if they're not married to the mother. I know a lot of men that they really want to be in their children's lives. But the way this movie kind of portrays men is we're just idiots. We're just idiots. We don't matter. All we're here for is to make women look better, or we have taken over the world and we keep women down. We abuse them. We don't get them. We don't like them. We kind of just want to put them on a show. We just want to put them on a showroom and look at them. There are a lot of men who are abusive, who do these things. But that message on this level or this stage is not helpful to young men. I mean, I'm pretty sure most men are probably not going to see this movie. So the filmmakers probably know that men are not going to be in the theater. However, that is obviously not the case. I saw it. There were other men in the theater. And for 90% of the movie, or 80% of the movie, okay, men were not laughing. Women were laughing the entire time. Men, I mean, I was sitting next to a guy who was with his girlfriend. I didn't hear a peep out of him the entire movie. Now, maybe maybe he got dragged to the theater. I don't know. But the humor is definitely geared towards women. I don't think that's a good message. I really don't. And so Ken is, Ken exists to love Barbie and be noticed by Barbie. Now, I don't know if that's a commentary on men in general or a commentary on the specific story behind Barbie and Ken, because Barbie is the marquee product. The doll is what everybody wants. And at some point in Barbie's history, the company's history, they decided, oh well, we should create a male character to be her love interest without taking any consideration into who he is, what he wants, where he's going. And I get that. And if that's that message, I get that message. But the way it's portrayed is Ken is an idiot. He's funny. He's funny. And he does take the stereotypes of manliness and manhood to be a man to the extreme. Not just him, but all the other Kens. And there's a diversity of stupidity in all of the Kens. So listen, I think there's some great talking points about what this means for the fact that there's this culture of manlyhood and manliness, about being macho, about looking a certain way, about being able to do certain things, about having power in the world. And I think those are good topics. Don't get me wrong. Those are good topics to talk about. How in corporate America, most of the CEOs, most of the people in power are men, which are white men. And on that topic, so halfway through, I'm sorry, my thoughts are all jumbled. This is really just thoughts. There was a moment in the movie where there's a monologue given by the mother, the mother of the daughter, like the main family. And she basically is if you've seen She-Hulk, She-Hulk did the same thing. This is like longer and prolonged. It's like a 5 to 10 minute monologue. And then they continue that monologue over and over and over again. You could take a lot of what she says and apply it to black men. Now, if you listen to what she says, something like, you have to be kind, you have to feel your emotions but not show them. You're expected to be efficient, but you're not expected to succeed. It's a bunch of different things. I can't even remember it all. Pretty good monologue. However, it doesn't just apply to women. It could also apply to black men or men that are in the minority. And so I just thought that was a misfire when it comes to the woes of living in American culture. And this is definitely to our American audience, because, in other parts of the world, things are a little bit different, or I guess in a first world country. In a nutshell, this movie is a social commentary about the hardships between men and women. And I think that's a great conversation to have. I really do. As far as a man, I think more of a motivational, inspiring movie that men can relate to and that teach men how to be better and how to treat their wives and their women appropriately would have been a better message for men, instead of just having women complain in front of the screen for 2 hours. But I'm sure this movie will appeal to a lot of women. I'm sure a lot of women feel the same way that the women in the movie feel and things like that. There's even a joke about how Margot Robbie is not a good choice to showcase some of the turmoil about being a woman in today's society, because Margot Robbie is she literally is Barbie come to life, the way she looks. Not my cup of tea, but I like black women. But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I don't think this is dangerous for Christians. I think it actually causes a good conversation to have and to show how, outside of Christ, we're going to be divided. As far as the ending goes, I thought they were going to promote unity between the sexes, but they didn't. They basically say, well, Ken, Barbie doesn't like you. Move on. Go be who you want to be. Figure out who you are. We don't care who you are, but go figure it out. And then women come back into power because Ken took over once he realized like the world is different than Barbie land. And Barbie becomes a human. She doesn't know what she wants. And she's like, oh, hey, I just want to become a woman. I just want to become a real woman, like Pinocchio. And so she becomes a real woman. And that was it. I think they could have tied that up way better. I think if they had tied it up in a unification or how we need each other, like men are different from women. Men have different interests. Women have different interests. Men speak differently. Women receive differently. These are realities. However, the world is better when we're both working together. We're both unified. And obviously, I would say unified in Christ, because in Christ, there is no male or female. Okay, we're all equal. We're both saved by the blood, and we both are required to make this world more godly. You can't do it alone. Women can't do it without men. Men can't do it without women. It's not good for man to be alone. But that's not like the ultimate message. At least that's not the message I got. The message I got was, Ken, you need to wake up. Barbie doesn't like you, and move on. You're not only existing to please her, which I don't know that he really got at the end, because honestly, he's just a bumbling idiot the whole time. And Barbie, you get to have what you want and do what you want. And I just thought that was I don't know. I just thought that was a weird ending. I don't know. I thought they could have done a lot better with the ending, given that they built it up so much. Like they built up how it seemed like they were saying that a world where women were in power is not good. And then a world where men take over and men are in power and women are there to serve the men is not good. And then the answer was to put women back in power. And men can just be there. Which, I don't know, that's a confusing message. I don't know. Maybe after some more time, I can really chew on it. Let me know what you think down below. I think this is a good conversation starter. What did you think of Barbie? Would you take your child to go see it? If you're a woman, let me know what you think about the topics that were discussed. If you're a man, let me know what you think. I'd love to dialogue with you down in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Zachary Carroll, aka Pastor Z. Y'all be cool. Pastor Z.